Hello everyone, I am Kaiju Cooper, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Legacy Velocitron Speedia 500 Override. Wow, that sentence was a bit of a mouthful. Anyway, before we hop into the actual review, there are two things I want to get out of the way right now. First off, this character is female, in case there was any confusion with that. Override was male in the original Japanese series, but when it was ported over to America, Override became female. And I understand the argument that this could still be a male version of Override, except for the packaging. This specifically states Cybertron Universe Override, which means this is the female version. Now, if this said Galaxy Force or something like that, it would be the male version. But yeah, this is a female character. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure change was made so there'd be more female representation in the show or something like that. But yeah, just wanted to clear that up right now. And second of all, I'm working on a fan series that you guys voted on the name for. It's called Transformers Beyond. And you can vote for 2 of the Autobot members. I put up some polls on, the community tab, so check those out if you want. As of right now, Override is winning the second poll. Most likely she will be in the series, which, I was kind of hoping that would happen. So, good on her. I was surprised that Power Glide's winning. Whatever, we're getting too sidetracked already. Before we take a look at Override herself, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. And, yeah, look at that. Look at that clearance. I am legit proud. That is some very good clearance right there. Wow, $33? It got a bit ripped up, yeah. $33, $35 basically. $17, went to a very good Walmart. The box is, tiny little bit scratched up, really doesn't count. Get some really nice, really nice art of the vehicle mode up at the top, and, of course, there she is right there. Kind of just, You get a little Velocitron symbol, Transformers, more art, and there's the product shots on the back. Looks pretty sweet. Top, nothing special, just that whole thing again. And that is it for the box. Coming back to Override herself, this is a very, very nice looking figure. As you can clearly see, lots of great colors working in tandem together. The black and gold really complement the red and white, and this does definitely remind me of Minerva. So yeah, I really, really like the head sculpt here. Very nice looking, although I do have one minor complaint. They gave it red light piping and then painted over the eyes with blue. So yeah, also speaking on the head, this is technically articulation. We haven't gotten to that segment yet, but it is only on a swivel. There's no up and down. Yeah, what's up with that, man? That is kind of stupid. Anyway, once again, looking at the whole body here, you get this very nice, sleek look. Just the legs pretty much say it all. They're very nice and curved, great looking, very smooth. The feet are also nice and stable, although they can't bend down as much as I'd like to. I wish there was a hinge joint at the heel there. That would be way nicer. Pretty great looking, although the arms are definitely blockier than the rest of the body. It hits a good balance between slim and sleek and buff and blocky, I guess. And once again, very nice golden streaks all over the arms here. Looks great. Get some accents on the chest as well. Glossy red, nice white plastic used here as well. And coming to the back, this is the slightest bit bulky, but that is because this is actually a weapon. Yeah, Override is armed. Never trust a female with a gun. I'm sorry, that joke was in horrible taste, but zooming back in on the head sculpt, you get some very nice gold paint. Looks much more gold on camera. It's a bit more yellowy in real life. But anyway, like I was saying, the gun that I made a very bad joke about, this simply comes off the back here. It tabs in very securely. So, there's also an extra port right there. And that, of course, leaves the back looking a little bit cleaner, although it does hang, this whole panel does hang down a little bit too much for my taste, but not too bad at all. And this is the weapon here. I guess if you really want to stretch it, you could pretend that this is some kind of shield you know, works okay as a shield, but then you still got the little barrels there. Whatever, it's a gun, clearly. What you can do, this part is optional. You can have these little fins flipped up, but either way, you need to have these barrels extended all the way out. And man, this really does remind me of older Transformers figures, mainly because the gun is massive and really doesn't fit the body that well. I mean, it looks very goofy, but I kind of love it. It definitely invokes the essence of some of those older Transformers toys from the early 2000s. So, yeah. Of course, the barrels don't lock into place, so you kind of just hope you get them lined up, and then you don't want to pinch them in too much, because that's not how a gun works. So, I think you can get them mostly straight like that. And then, either way, with the little wings is fine, I guess. That looks good. I prefer this configuration, though, mainly because, you know, it doesn't bump into her chest at all. And, yeah. Also forgot to mention, very nice blue accents at the head and chest there. And the clear plastic is done very nicely. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. There is some tiny molded detail in there. Very nicely done. And probably my last complaint is the legs. They look a bit wonky because when the legs are not bent, you can see it makes her look like she has no thighs. And you guys know, I like me some thighs. So personally, I take some... I take some offense to that. What am I doing? I'm going to put the gun to the side for now. But yeah, it looks very odd. Makes the legs look very stubby, even though they're actually incredibly long and voluptuous. And then when you bend her knees, they're just these tiny little rods. So when you're posing her, you kind of have to strike that perfect balance. And speaking of posing, let's get into the articulation. Pretty average articulation for a modern figure. You get a swivel at the head, which is not modern or average. This is below average. It should be, you know, a ball joint. Of course, 360 with that. Feels very clicky. I don't recommend doing that, actually. You get a rotation at the arm. Arm moves out. Doesn't move in that much at all. You get a bicep swivel, knee bend 90 degrees, and of course, a wrist swivel right there. Coming to the waist, you also get a waist swivel, but that is impeded by this big bulky backpack. I don't think you can lift this up at all either. You can hinge the whole midsection forward a little bit if you cheat it, if it wants to. Yeah, you can bend it forward a tiny little bit, and that nets you some more with the waist swivel, but it is pretty useless. She can kick about that far and goes back not that much because of this, you know, it hangs down too much. Thigh swivel, get a way above average knee bend there. That looks great. And then pivot at the ankle. It's an okay pivot, not too much, not too little. And a little bit of toe up and down. Really feels like it should be more. And yeah, that is pretty much it for Legacy. I mean, I guess Velocitron overrides alternate mode. Guess I'll give her gun back real quick so we can do the size comparisons that I literally always forget to do. Anyway, here she is next to Funko Pop Godzilla, Cheetor, and Night Prowler. I also got Night Prowler on clearance sale for $9. $9. Isn't that such a steal? And Authentics Megatron. And finally, here she is in her car mode. Pretty nice looking car mode. Honestly, I really like the way it looks. Although, definitely looks a bit bare right now. So what you want to do is you flip the gun back up, and that simply just goes onto the back there, and that bulks it up just enough. And yeah, this car looks absolutely amazing. They did a fantastic job with this mode. This definitely captures that sleeker feel better. Although I will say, one kind of just random detail they forgot is on the front here. The wheels, I mean the feet here, they are supposed to have headlights on them, but they don't for some reason. It was like that on the original toy and in the cartoon. So yeah, kind of peculiar, I guess. You know, pretty nice looking, and if you want. You can have these little blades flipped up, although I don't think that looks quite as good. And surprisingly, this is one of the few instances where the head crest actually does kind of work. I don't know, just the way they did the red plastic kind of makes it to where the head doesn't look like it's there. And it really does just look like the head crest is on the car. So they did a great job with that, and I was really surprised how they made the angled wheels on the legs work out. They don't fold or shift at all. They're just there normally. They did a great job with that. It does also roll really nicely and really clean back as well. You know, it's not messy like at all. Great looking, not too gappy. The sides are a bit meh. It does feel like that is a bit big of a gap there. Also, obvious hands. Not that obvious from the sides, so you're all good there. So I really do like Override. She is a great figure and definitely worth adding to your collection, especially if you can get her at the clearance price that I did. But even if you can't, I'd still say go for it. She's one of the few unique molds for Velocitron Speedia 500. So definitely jump on this. Pretty good figure. I really enjoyed it. So with that, I'm going to give Override here a deliciously delectable 9 out of 10.